Russia's Iskander missile speaks again, and this time, it wasn't just another strike, but a precision hit that destroyed Ukraine's military UAV assembly site in Kherson. A massive explosion, a rising column of black smoke, and a haunting silence afterward. A clear message from Moscow. There are no safe zones left for Kyiv's war industry. But behind this, a bigger question emerges. Was this a legitimate military action, or a reflection of the West's failure to protect its own military projects inside Ukraine? The strike occurred early morning on October 8, 2025, around 7:30 local time. The target was specific, an industrial workshop in Kherson's Korabelny district, reportedly used by the Ukrainian armed forces to assemble and repair combat UAVs. The system employed was no ordinary weapon. Russia launched an Iskander-M ballistic missile, a high-precision, short-range system capable of reaching speeds above Mach 6 and hitting targets up to 500 kilometers away. Drone footage captured the missile's impact, striking dead center, triggering a massive blast that obliterated the entire structure. For Moscow, this wasn't a random attack. It was a precision strike, carefully planned to eliminate one of the key nodes in Ukraine's drone manufacturing network, a network largely financed and equipped by Western partners. Russia's Ministry of Defense swiftly confirmed the operation. In an official statement, it said the Iskander-M missile destroyed an enemy drone assembly facility in the city of Kherson. Prominent Russian military blogger Boris Rozhin added that the strike was carried out by Dnipro sector forces, based on precise ground intelligence. Footage of the moment of impact circulated online, showing the missile's pinpoint accuracy. Within seconds, the building vanished in a fireball, and shockwaves rippled across several city blocks. State media outlets, including RIA Novosti and Vesti, ran the story widely, calling it a textbook example of the Iskander system's precision and lethality in modern warfare. On the Ukrainian side, officials told a different story. Oleksandr Prokudin, head of Kherson's military administration, claimed that Russian missiles struck a residential area, killing 2 civilians, one of them an elderly woman. Kyiv made no mention of any UAV facility. Instead, as usual, it focused on the narrative of civilian casualties and terror against the population. It's a familiar pattern. Whenever a Ukrainian military facility is destroyed, Kyiv and its Western allies immediately shift the spotlight from military target to civilian area. Yet many of these so-called civilian zones conceal dual-use military sites, workshops, depots, or repair centers deliberately hidden in urban neighborhoods. By embedding their operations among civilians, Ukraine not only increases the risk to its own people, but also manipulates public perception every time a precision strike like this takes place. The Kherson strike exposes a harsh truth. The West can no longer protect its investments in Ukraine's war effort. NATO has poured billions of dollars, trained drone operators, and sent advanced sensors and electronics. Yet a single Iskander missile wipes out an entire facility in one shot. Is this a failure of strategy or simple arrogance? The refusal to admit that Ukraine's defenses are no match for Russia's ballistic capabilities. In front of cameras, Western officials talk endlessly about solidarity. Behind closed doors, they know the reality. Every workshop, every depot, every warehouse they fund has become a magnet for Russian missiles. Ironically, their support now prolongs the war more than it helps to end it. NATO seems trapped in its own rhetoric. It keeps pushing Kyiv to fight until victory, yet avoids bearing the direct cost. Meanwhile, Russian airstrikes intensify, and every time an Iskander is launched, it exposes how fragile Ukraine's Western-supplied defenses really are. Militarily, the destruction of the UAV workshop in Kherson delivers a direct blow to Ukraine's ability to produce drones domestically. In the short term, it limits reconnaissance and strike operations along the southern front. In the long term, it sends a clear message. No Ukrainian military infrastructure, not even those built with Western money, is safe from Russian precision weapons. For Moscow, this proves the effectiveness of a targeted strike strategy. One missile, one target, no need for ground incursions, no casualties on their side. For NATO and Ukraine, however, every such strike is a public reminder that the much-touted technological superiority of the West can still be dismantled, swiftly and decisively. The Kherson strike isn't just another battlefield update, it's a signal that the war has entered a new phase, a war of logistics, industry, and endurance. The side that sustains its military production will ultimately prevail, and in this phase, Russia currently holds the advantage. Ukraine can keep blaming Moscow, but the reality on the ground says otherwise. As long as Kyiv remains a proxy for NATO's agenda, as long as Western-backed facilities continue to operate on its soil, there will always be another Iskander incoming. And each time the world will again ask, who's really prolonging this war? Some visuals in this video were created using AI-assisted technology due to limited access to real battlefield footage. These visuals are purely illustrative and serve to clarify the analytical narration.